Welcome to another thundering episode of Business and Leadership Stories. Without business, would there be leadership? Without leadership, would there be business? Big question. But the conundrum is not for me to answer. It is Sachin Bhandary here, my very able comrade from the story co. Started life as a traveling genius, did his version of the Motorcycle Diaries, traveling all over South America, and look where life has brought him now. He helps corporates improve their career scope by telling them stories, real life stories, stories he's associated with or been inspired by it, and then he soaks in some lessons which he passes on to you, to me, anybody who's listening. How are you doing, brother?
Very good, Hrishi. I was just thinking when you mentioned that Motorcycle Diaries and all that, people would have expected me to settle down in Montevideo, but I've settled down in Mysore, so...
Well, thank God for your wife and your parents, and that you decided to come back, and all is well. But many congratulations, my friend. It's not a motorcycle that we should celebrate. Your family finally owns a car.
Yes, our first car, that's right.
And your first car, a cell-phone car. But you could have easily not have bought this car.
Right.
But what you did manage to achieve is learn from an exceptional car salesman's skills of selling, and also made me realize that perhaps a pre-owned car is not a bad idea at all. Right. One always struggles with the mystery, saying, I don't know anything about the past of this car. Will that affect the present and the future?
Right.
So talk me through this wonderful story of Honda Jazz.
That's right.
And this is not sponsored by them. It's the car that his family has bought, and tell us about all that jazz.
That's true. Yes, it's a car that So we lived in Bombay, Hrishi, you know that, and we moved to Mysore a few years ago. Bombay, we never really thought of buying a vehicle because you get stuck in traffic, so we wanted to avoid all that. But in Mysore, you really need a four-wheeler, a car if you have multiple members in the family. So we decided we are going to get one. We thought it'll be very simple. You know your budget. You know a few brands that you would like to get. Go to a used car dealer, tell them, and they'll show you a few cars, and maybe the third or the fourth one is the one that you will buy. But it took us 2 long months, and we still hadn't been able to close one. Sometimes when the dealers showed us the car, we stayed stuck at a particular price, and somebody else paid more for it, and hence the car went away. And the other times we didn't just like the car and stuff. And then I actually approached a friend of mine, someone I know in Mysore. His name is Mayur, and he runs the Inspire Honda dealership. And because he's known to me, he of course took personal interest, and within 2 weeks of starting to interact with Mayur, we had bought a Honda Jazz, and it just struck me, and I started wondering, 2 months and we weren't able to close down in one. Why is it that Mayur has come in and we've bought one already in 2 weeks? Then I realized that the other used car dealers, when we went to them, they were, what's your budget? What is it that you're looking for? It was very straightforward, templated questions. So they were trying to put us in a bracket, and then just show that limited material that offerings that they had, those 2 or 3 cars. And in that as well, more often than not, they would just say, sir, this car is very good. Take my word, buy it.
They basically want to close the deal very quickly.
Yeah.
Don't allow you to think very much.
Right.
Closet you into a corner so that you'll just do the deal.
Right.
That's not the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
Did you find that your friend
Mayur's approach was totally different.
gave you a lot of space?
Yes. He first, of course, asked me what is it that we were looking for. And we were actually hell-bent on buying a sedan, a Honda Jazz, not a Honda Jazz, Honda City. Right? My wife is a big fan of the car. And looked like we were going to buy one of those. He had a Honda City, but he took me to the dealership and said, hey, listen, I have a Honda Jazz as well. I know that you may not be interested in it, but why don't you look at the car? And much against what other used car dealers do, who will just go on and rattle off everything that's good about the car, Mayur would start every conversation about a car by saying, I'll first tell you what is not right about this car. Okay, so the first thing he would tell me is that this doesn't work, that's bad, this doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. Now that
appreciate the honesty. Appreciate the honesty.
Now that this is out of the way, I'm going to tell you what's good about the car. And then he also took the effort to bring both the City and the Jazz to our home. And it so happened that when the Jazz came home, we have a pet dog, indie pet dog, her name is Kiki. Kiki came down, and I realized that Kiki would actually fit in the boot of the car as well if you just remove the flap on top of it. And it gives us space for one extra person in the car, because if we would have bought a sedan, then of course we can't put her in the boot, right? Then it's only about 3 people who can travel in the car. But with this new thing that I realized, and that happened only because Mayur was patient and he was okay for us to go in our own pace. But see how counterproductive it was. We were able to buy a car within 2 weeks because of Mayur, whereas all the other used car dealers did that for 2 months and we still weren't able to get one.
And the thing is that he put his cards on the table bang in front.
Right.
Instead of sugarcoating things, he said, this is what is wrong. This is what I can do about it.
Right.
And
100%.
very gently nudged you to make the right decision.
Yeah.
And once a dog lover, always a dog lover. Kiki sealed it for you.
That is correct. That is correct.
Well, this man is a genius, I tell you. And I don't mean just Mayur.
So
I mean Sachin Bhandary. Any other lessons we can learn from this?
So I think Mayur's approach is really well suited to high value or high ticket sales, consulting kind of things, right? If you're selling luxury products, if you're selling, really big retainers through consulting, etc. Because that's where you need that kind of engagement. I'm not saying that be Mayur when you want to sell like a pencil. Doesn't work, I'll be honest. But a lot of people, despite having high value products, still use the very regular, you take it or leave it kind of attitude. So that doesn't work. But the other thing which I found really interesting in Mayur's approach, Hrishi, was that his ability to narrate interesting insights or interesting things about the car. So I remember I sat into the Jazz for the first time with Mayur, and he asked me, Sachin, have you noticed that Jazz has really big windows and like the front glass is also much bigger than the other cars? I said, yes, that's right, Mayur. Yeah, now that you say it, I realize it. So then he asked, do you know why that is? I said, I don't know. You are from Honda, you probably will know. He said that in the Honda Jazz, the company, at least he said that's my version or understanding of it, is that the company wants you to always feel happy. That's why the car is called Jazz. Okay. And there's a lot of light coming into the car all the time, and that is why it's got these big windows. And then I was like, yes, that's right. And that's how I was able to make the decision that this is the car that we will buy, apart from, of course, Kiki. Right.
Coaching programs like Storyflexion, Ace LinkedIn with Stories, and Inspiring Leader have helped CXOs and senior executives power their growth. The first 30-minute call is to him. Write to him if you'd like to book his time. That is Sachin Bhandary at?
So the simple thing is go to my LinkedIn. It's Sachin Bhandary. Sachin is easy. Bhandary is Bhandary. On my profile is a link which says get in touch or stay in touch. Click that. You can subscribe to my newsletter, Win with Stories, or book a call with me so I can come and help your organization win with stories.
There's also a Win with Stories newsletter on LinkedIn, which I highly advocate you go and check out. Till next time, my friend.
Look forward to see.
94.3 Radio 1.